Hallo, guten Tag, welcome to another video. As incompetent as I am, I've just purchased new beautiful wheels for the winter with winter tires. And look what I do. 1 week later, I'm driving backwards, and despite all the cameras and the sensors on this Tesla Model 3 Performance, I managed to scratch my wheels like a complete idiot. I mean, seriously, I'm always warning other people like my wife for it, and now one time I'm not paying attention, leaves on the ground, it's dark, and it happens to me. So yeah, I hope you'll sponsor me so I can get autopilot, because I'm obviously not capable of parking myself anymore. Yeah, and if not, then please watch this video, because I'm going to show you with the help of very cheap products from Amazon how you can fix this yourself. So what do we have for this video? We have a cordless screwdriver, safety glasses. We have from the Lidl supermarket some wipes to degrease and clean this wheel here before we treat it. Then we have from the respected firm of Kongming, which sounds like a very tasty Chinese dish, but they're actually specialized in these sanding discs. I found these on Amazon. Basically all sorts of discs here with different types of grits that will mount on the cordless screwdriver. A brush to brush off the dirt, and then once we sand it to wheels, I have here liquid aluminium, which I still had from Aldi, but you can just buy this. You can rub it in your hand, and then you can fill up these deeper scratches there. And then finally we'll top it off with this very nice, this one is very high reviewed paint from Licargo, a German company, and supposedly this one, the gloss black, will fit really nice on these wheels. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please wish me good luck. Los geht's. First thing we're going to do is make sure we clean this surface well. So we're going to use the brush, because especially also here, here you can see it very well, in between the other wheel and the tire there may be small pieces of aluminium that's scraped off. So I just want to brush it off and make sure there's nothing in there. So yeah, sehr schön. And then also, before you do that, maybe inspect the tire. For example, here you can see a very small chip. It's very small, but on the side wall of the tire. As long as you don't see any thread, white threading inside the tire, and if it's small chips like that, it's not dangerous. But just make sure that your tire's integrity is not damaged, because else you'd better swap them out. So, first stage done. This is very easy. I already feel more satisfied doing this, knowing that I'll be able to correct my error. And now we're going to go on to the second stage. Let me know if this has ever happened to you, such curb rash. I mean, when it happened to me, the noise, it was horrible. I thought I would not be able, I didn't sleep many days from this, because I felt so upset. But now, yeah, after a couple of days, I know that it can be fixed, and it happens to the best of us, but yeah, still, I find it terrible. With these wipes, we're going to, careful that you don't damage your finger, because it may be sharp. Just clean off the area here a bit. And you can also use, let's say, pressure washer or whatever you want. But by doing this, we remove all the dirt, and that's better when we go to the sanding phase. Sehr schön. Oh yeah, and make sure before you start sanding this, that you put on some safety glasses. Because yeah, you may have, when you sand there, very small pieces of aluminium flying up, and if that gets in your eye, yeah, you run the risk of not being able to drive a car at all anymore. Very easy to do, costs really nothing, can be a potential lifesaver, and it happens quite often that particles fly up. So please, safety first. Sehr schön. Yeah, and what I really like about this Kongming, come here, Kongming. What I really like about it is that you have many different types. I mean, this set was like $9. It's really nothing. All the way going up from 80 to in the thousands. I think I saw even a 3000. Here we have, I think this is 3000. I mean, this is really nothing. I mean, for doing your nails, this is not even enough. But this here, for example, this is nice rough. What I suggest you do is you just grab them in your hand and you just go past them a little bit past this curb brush and then see which one feels the best. I just had in my hand a P100 and I have decided now to go with this 80 to sand off and make it smooth, and then I'll go down a couple of numbers to make sure it is baby smooth. And yeah, just test that. Oh yeah, what I really recommend is that when you do that you do a couple of test runs, let's say here on a certain spot, see how the pad reacts, see if it does get smooth, and if you're happy with that, then you can also continue with the bigger parts. Sehr schön. And I can really see that with this P80 pad, it does start getting smooth very fast, and I'm able to get the worst parts out. Let me show you. So here you have quite a big hole. And be careful when you sand it that you don't get too close to the inside of the tire. And there are a couple of really deep ones, like this body right here. And this one really needs to be filled up with this liquid aluminium, so that you have an even surface on which the paint will hold much longer. Very curious what this is like. I had this from Aldi, from a silver aluminium alloy wheel set that I tried to repair. It didn't work because it was some diamond cut and the color didn't match. But this is universal. And let's see, I hope it'll stick to here if I sand it right. Let's continue. So, I'm already quite happy with the initial result. I'm able to move my finger in here without cutting open my finger, which is very nice. I'm not able to get out some of the really deep ones, like here for example. Hope you can see that. There we'll put some aluminium, but on the inside it's also smooth, and that's most important. You have to be very careful that you make sure you hold it well, because the cordless drill went out of my hand and I scratched my wheel in an additional place. Verdammt nochmal. Yeah, I do this for the first time, but I can see why people like to do this themselves, and it's really not so difficult, and I think anybody can do this. Preparation is the most important. Here it's sharp, here I can cut my finger still open, but everywhere else it's very smooth and it's going in the right direction. Sehr schön. So, the P80 pad is done. Fertig. And now I'm going over it with a P180 because it's already quite smooth, but I want to make it a bit more smooth. And don't press, just hold it on there and let the pad do the work. So, I've sanded the wheel completely. It looks very good, it's very smooth. I can run my finger against it. For the next stage I'm going to try this liquid aluminium, and we're going to put on some gloves here for safety first. We're going to cut a small piece off with the knife, and then we're going to make a small ball which will roll into our gloves, and with this ball, once it's warm and melted from the rubbing and the hands, we're going to move that along the wheel where it's curved, to fill up the holes before, and then we let it dry, and then we do the first layer of paint. And it didn't work at all with the gloves on, so I'll just use my hands. The gloves kept on breaking, so I'll just move it around in my hands like that until I have a nice liquid ball, and then we'll try again with the gloves. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, with the gloves for some reason it's just not working because it's so sticky. So, sehr schön. Nice to do this on a Sunday, and very satisfactory that you can do this and save a lot of money, because they quoted over 200 euros to fix my wheel. And yeah, like this, hopefully I can do it for a fraction of the money. And I'll teach myself a good lesson to be extra careful next time. So I made a nice aluminium blob. It's warm. It's yeah, you can mold it very easy. And now I guess I should scrape it past the areas where I have holes. And I'm not very optimistic this is really going to work. But as you can see, the liquid aluminium filler, or whatever this is called, yeah, it kind of attaches to those spots. I don't know, maybe this stuff is expired, let me know. But it kind of attaches to these spots where there's holes. And then we should let it dry. And once it's dried, we'll use a fine sanding paper to sand it again. And then hopefully some of these holes are filled up. But yeah, as I'm going past it, I find it primarily sticky. And I don't see much of an improvement. But for full due diligence and to follow the process, I'll continue with the whole tire and we'll look at the result later on. Okay, here's a short update. I've actually discovered that what you should do is you should take some and then press it in the holes where you have these openings. And it may look a bit ugly here on the top now, but then it fits and it hardens out in the hole, and then we'll sand off the rest. I think this is the way to do it, not the rubbing, but kind of like taking a piece and putting it in the holes and then press it in with your fingers. I think I found out how to do this. Let me know if this is the right way. And as you continue with the wheel, you'll notice it gets more difficult. Then what you should do is just re-agitate this aluminium, then make it hot again by making this ball, and then it's softer and it'll go easier. Okay, I finished with the aluspachtel, the aluminium spachtel. I'm not a big fan of it, maybe mine was expired. But if we look here, we can see that in the worst cuts, yeah, I put these blobs of aluminium. It looks really horrible. I'm going to let them get hard now, and then I'll sand off the residue. And I should have filled up the worst cracks. But also here underneath, I didn't need to put anything. So maybe my curb rash was not as bad as some of the other people's curb rash. But let me know what you think about the results so far. So, we have put the aluspachtel, I've put it in all the holes, I've filled up all the holes, sehr schön. And now I need to wait about 2 hours. But I'm quite impressed so far. It's getting hard, I can see it. And I just looked up, yeah, this Tesla Autopilot cost 3,500 euros here in Europe. 3,700 euro. That's a lot of money. I don't think I'll be willing to spend that. So I'll just become a master at this, because probably I'll need to do it again with these wheels that stick out. I mean, yeah, it's nice, the wheels, and it's very sporty, but you make one mistake and you're completely screwed. Let me know if you've had curb rash on your car, on your Tesla or any other car, and how many times you fix something like this yourself, or you just drive around with it and you try to forget about it. I'm not the type of guy. I would rather repair it. I would rather repair it 5 times than having to look at it. But yeah, that's just my own personal preference. But let me know what you think about that. And here's an update after 1 hour. The aluminium spachtel, the aluspachtel, is already getting very hard. I can't press it in anymore. So the hardening process definitely starts immediately when it gets cold and gets pressed in. After 1 hour we'll come back and we'll sand this off together. So, after waiting 2 hours, it's now time with a 240 grit sandpaper to get rid of these top surfaces here, so that what's left is only a perfectly filled mini crater. So let's try. It's getting smoother, but I think I need to go to a bit stronger sandpaper. So we're going to go back to 100, I think. So, back to stronger grit. think I'll need a couple of passes to get rid of this uneven surface. I used on a few places a bit too big blobs, so it's going to require a bit more sanding. Maybe I'll go a little bit stronger, and I'll check in with you once I'm done with that. Sehr schön. So far this Kong Ming set is not disappointing. The only thing I don't like so much is that the Velcro is a little bit weak. The pads are very thin, and in just a few seconds you need to go to another pad. Luckily there's plenty of pads included in the package, but yeah, I guess it's not the highest quality sandpaper available, but you can't expect much for like $9. So I have sanded the whole curb brush down with 180 pad, and I did here the front facing side. I went here in the crack, because this set with the cordless drill and the pad is very suitable for that. You won't damage the tires. And then I went also a little bit here on the inside edges. And all together now I have quite a smooth surface. Here I have still a little bit of a big blob here. So I think I'll hit this one again with a 180 pad. And then I think I'm going to go with a 1000, 2000 or maybe 3000 pad over it on every side, up and down, so that I have a baby smooth surface. And then I'll clean it and I'll put the paint on. I must say I started very insecure when I did this. I was really nervous I was going to do something wrong. But as I'm proceeding with the tire and the wheel, I noticed that you actually can't do much wrong. If you have your hand under control, you don't apply any pressure, and you're careful and mindful of the tire. Especially if you take your time and you go with these sanding pads that are not too aggressive in the beginning. You'll develop your skill very fast. I'm completely not skilled at this, but I noticed I was getting more and more confident, and I really think that anybody can do this. And it's a fantastic way to get rid of the deep sharp curb rash that I had in here. It's already smooth. I'll even it out a bit, and then I think with the first layer of paint it's already going to look stunning. But I'll apply 3 layers of paint, 3 thin layers, and in between I'll let them dry, of course. So I'll finish now the rest, sanding it, and we'll be back for the paint stage. Sehr schön. So let's make sure we rub all the remaining dirt off, all the remaining powder, and then we'll use some wet wipes also to completely clean the surface, so we know what we're working with for the paint phase. So let's wipe everything thoroughly and clean. So yeah, I'm getting more and more excited about this. It's hard to describe. I can see that it's becoming back to its original state, although I haven't started painting yet. Let me know if you know this feeling. It's very satisfactory if you can fix something like this yourself. It makes me feel really good about myself. So, and then once everything is thoroughly cleaned, disinfected, degreased, and most important dry, you get your Lackstift, the Licargo gloss black stift I have here, aus Deutschland natürlich. And you shake it for 2 minutes, and then we're going to apply a small test to see if the color looks good and what the paint behaves like before we start spreading it all over the wheel. So very thin in the beginning, see what happens, and then cover the rest with a thin layer, let it dry, and then put a second coating. So make sure that all the excess on top of the pencil is removed. And let's try here a little bit to see what it looks like. Oh, sehr schön. Sehr, sehr schön. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, this is so good. You can see here, you can really see how well that matches with the original color of, it's getting dark here in Germany where I'm doing this. But you can see how nice this gloss black matches with the original gloss black wheel here, the AIZ-Felgen that I have, the Toronto black. I'm very happy with this. So I'm going to continue before it gets dark, see if I can get the whole wheel done and show you the initial result. Sehr schön. And as I'm doing this, I keep on reminding myself how important it is to take your time and not to just go through this very fast. because if you do that, the result won't be very good. And if you get to one of these areas where it's still a little bit deep, then just choop, 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 tap it a little bit, and you fill that crack up too. And I can tell you, I can hardly see that there was any damage here already. This is very good. It's like a fantastic thing to do on a Sunday. And then Monday, when you go back to work, nobody will see that you were an incompetent parker. Sehr schön. So, first coat is done. I'm very happy with the result. From this angle, I can hardly say that anything has ever happened to this wheel. I would have to get really up close to be able to spot here, see these really deep damages that I had. Or some, I don't know, for some reason I was not able to fill them up or polish them out. But you would have to have glasses, perfect eyes, a magnifying glass in order to see that. From a distance I just cannot see anything. And that is the first coating. Yeah, make sure that halfway also that you just shake this thing a little bit, because you'll have it open and then with the air, and then maybe it settles again. So shake it a few times. And then make sure that you also go a little bit in the back, of course, that you look at it from the side to see if you have also done the side well. And let me show you also a couple of shots with before and after, so you can really see what I mean, how good this paint is. And if you take your time to sand it, what a fantastic result you'll get. I think I'm done for today. I'm going to let it dry. Tomorrow, when the daylight is back, I'm going to apply a second coating, especially over the areas where you can still see it a little bit. I think that I have deserved my bratwurst, I've deserved my schnitzel and my Weissbier. Super happy with this result. Anybody can do this. I hope you'll give it a try too. Write me in the comments if you have any questions. And yeah, I mean, the whole problem is fixed, so I don't need Tesla auto parking. I can just go and park again like an idiot. And then if I do, I know how to repair it. Sehr schön. Please subscribe and see you in the next video. Auf Wiedersehen.